No, it's just I think you've overcomplicated this story. I mean, this is one of the simplest, oldest stories there is. This is an ancient story from olden times. Okay.
It is the story of David versus Goliath. The story of the mighty giant against the tiny underdog. And yet, what does football teach us? You always have a chance. Look at what Bortles, Fournette, and the Jaguars did only last weekend. You say yes, but now it's against the Patriots. You are fighting a giant. They don't have one Goliath, they are two Goliaths. Brady, Belichick, relentlessly. The machine stomps on.
That's where I'm thinking you should cut in the NFL footage.
And this is the NFL's David. Incredible! Versus the NFL's Goliath.
Sheer domination continues.
For the right to play in the Super Bowl. It's that simple.
Good evening. This is your commissioner speaking. And welcome to episode 16, the Super Bowl preview episode of the Sunday Funday podcast. And as always, I'm usually joined by my co-host. This week, he's feeling a little under the weather. But don't you worry. We will still hear from Coach Seeks himself. Coach Seeks, I hope you're feeling better, my friend. We had a lot of madness in the semifinals round, and now we're left with the final two. Those Tiger Sharks. But before I can go any further, why don't we take a look back at what unfolded in this past week in a segment I like to call Hit It! All right, let's start here. We got our boy Seeks by that catch. As Coach Seeks has made it clear all season long that if he wasn't making the playoffs, boy oh boy, is he gonna get that number one draft pick.
I'm already calling this out. Find me if you want. I'm going to lose the first game and win out the rest of the way for the. I'm saying that out loud so everybody knows it. They're not beating me in the losers bracket.
And guess what? He threw everything at the Rocky Mountain Oysters. And by everything, I meant Mac Jones. I meant Hunter Henry, who was out. I meant Ramondre Stevenson, who was out. But hey, all I asked was he fielded a full team. And Coach Seeks, he abided by that. He fielded his full team. But the 5 players that played for Coach Seeks, they didn't like the game plan. They went rogue on their dear old Coach Seeks. They sure did. As Coach Seeks' 5 players. The ones I can think off the top of my head. Jonathan Taylor. T. Higgins. Justin Jefferson. Brees. No, he sat Brees Hall. And leading the pack was Puka Nakua. As Seeks by the catch won this 9 vs 6 matchup easily. Blew out the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Coach Seeks' number 1 draft pick dreams vanished. Kind of like the Patriots. As this final here was 114 to 76. And moving on here. The fourth quarter Zips, they advanced. And they don't have to worry about that last place as Billy Ward loses yet another game. This one was not even close. Amari Cooper put up 51. Scotty Q won easily. The 168 to the 105 final. Billy Ward and the Rocky Mountain Oysters will now be facing off in the last place game. And remember our rules, league. You need to win the last place game to get the first pick in the draft. You cannot throw it. And moving on here. Let's talk about the 5th place game, huh? We got Brando's country. Let's die. taking on Sunday, Bloody Sunday. Brando's country. He barely edged out Sunday, Bloody Sunday this week. Oh boy, he was not happy about 5th place. He did not feel like he deserved to be there whatsoever. But a win's a win in Brando's country. And if that means another trophy in the trophy case, he's gonna take it. It's behind Lamar Jackson and Amon Russell Brown led Brando's country and those riders to the 123 to 121 final. And now, let's get to business. As we have the semi-final round, the final 4 teams facing off. And we had a great one. It was my Super Bowl prediction matchup earlier in the season.
I mean, I'll just call Super Bowl right now. I'll call Super Bowl. I think it's going to be best tight end here versus Tiger Sharks.
Really?
As we had the best tight end here facing off against the Tiger Sharks. Tiger Sharks. He sweat that one out. He sweat that one out. As long as those Tiger Sharks have Josh Allen and Jahmyr Gibbs on his team, he's going to be just fine. And as for best tight end here, her biggest strength, definitely the running back position. But those running backs did not show up this week. Heartbreaking end to the season for best tight end here, as she gets eliminated from the 2023 season. Kev Dog wins out the nail-biting win. The 123 to 117 final. And those Tiger Sharks, they're making their first career Super Bowl appearance. Hi, Kevin. And moving on to the next matchup, the two brothers, the Wookiees of the year, and the Bugsy Man. And this one was over early. Chris Olave on Thursday Night Football sealed the deal. CMC is gonna CMC, and those Wookiees just did not put up the fight this week. They didn't even show up, didn't even hit 100 points. You hate to see that for the Wookiees of the year, but again, like I said, for best tight end here, you got to tip your cap on a great season, and I'm sure they will be back next year as the Bugsy Man advances to his 4th career Super Bowl appearance in the 133 to 92 final. Now, of course, we have our last place game to focus on between the Snapchat King and the Rocky Mountain Oysters. But the most important game here, the most important one, is obviously the Super Bowl. Tiger Sharks, Bugsy Man. Let's hear what Coach Kevin got to say.
What's going on, Sunday Funday? Happy Super Bowl week. Hope everyone had a good holiday, and just wanted to check in quick on the pod here. I know Coach Seeks is a little under the weather. I think trying to nail down the first pick of the draft got him a little sick. So hopefully everyone enjoyed the season. Obviously, Jay and I are going to be going against each other this week, and I think it's going to be a shootout. We met at the 50-yard line earlier today just to shake hands, wish each other good luck, and I think it's going to come down to the wire for sure. Two strong teams, but again, nothing but respect between him and I. So hopefully I'll get my first trophy. We'll see what happens. And Heather, I mean, shout out to you. I really am just kind of surprised that I was able to pull that out this past week. Good luck against Wookiees in the 3rd place game, but you could have easily been here in my position. So great season, everyone. Hope everyone has a good new year, and we'll see what happens.
Nothing but respect on the other side of the field. Kev Dog, hey, you heard it all year long.
Like, sneaky dude, sneaky team. Kevin's a sneaky team.
I want to come out and say this right away, Coach Seeks. It's only been 6 weeks of the fantasy football season. I want to crown Kevin. He is by far the best team in the league right now at this moment.
Wow.
He's the most talented team right now. Coach Seeks, are you going to hop on the bandwagon with me, or are you still not on it yet? That Kev Dog is clearly the Super Bowl favorite so far.
I spoke with him today. I said, hey, do you consider yourself a Super Bowl favorite? And he said yes, like point blank, like he is fully in that Super Bowl mode. So watch out for Kev Dog.
Look, this is Kevin's league, Coach Seeks. He is the Super Bowl favorite. He has been at the top the whole season.
Spoke with him today. He said if he loses a Super Bowl this year, it's a disappointment.
And Kev Dog, this is a message to you. I will see you again, my friend. I will see you again. I knew you meant to be here. You deserve to be here. And I cannot wait to see the outcome of this week. But I mentioned before, I'm joined by a co-host usually. He's feeling under the weather this week. But why don't we hear from Coach Seeks himself?
My goodness, my Sunday Funday faithful. This is Coach Seeks. He is dialing in from his bed. I apologize for not being on the podcast this week. I ended up getting the flu for Christmas this year. But again, had some pleasant texts with the Super Bowl appearing commissioner, and he had asked me to deliver who I think is going to win this year. And again, I've had a lot of time alone in my sleep, and I've thought this through, and I said, man, I have been sleeping hard on this guy all year. So when it comes to who I'm picking for the Super Bowl, Kevin, Tiger Sharks team, it's probably best to turn off all listening means right now. Because look, you got a guy that's won multiple Super Bowls here. He has a dynamic wide receiver trio. He has the best running back in the league, the great white hope, Christian McCaffrey.
He's going to turn. I know.
He has pretty solid developmental pieces that have gotten multiple touchdowns when he's needed them. So for this year, if I'm looking at who's going to win the Super Bowl, never mind the projections, I'm going to take into consideration the Bugsy Man's historic runs he's had in the past. And ultimately, I'm going to ignore that and pick the Tigers solely because Kev Dog is going to going to beat him. It could be a blowout. It could be a close victory. I just think that this is his year, man. He's been the top guy all year long. If there's someone that could prevent the Bugsy Man from getting that Thanos in last Infinity Stone, it's Kev Dog. It's less of a prediction and more of a plead. Come on, dude. We cannot let this guy get another Super Bowl. He high key. Can you imagine how much he's gonna start talking about his team if he, oh my God, the content and everything. I'm gonna have to turn to fantasy baseball until next season. So this is Coach Seeks is my projection. And a quick little side note, Coach Armo, man. Come on. Dude, I wasn't asking for a lot last week. I quite literally didn't have three to four player. I had Mac Jones at my quarterback. I had Ramondre Stevenson, who was season ending, not on the roster. And I had Hunter Henry, who didn't suit up. And I ended up beating you by 30 plus. Come on, dude. I wasn't asking for a lot this year. I just wanted the number one pick. I guess I won't have that either. So go Tiger Sharks. This is Coach Seeks.
Man, Coach Seeks, I'm glad he picked Kevin. I'm glad he picked the Tiger Sharks. I would be honestly offended if he chose me to win the Super Bowl. And I think he said it best. Why? Why would you want me to win? Why would you want me to win number 4? I don't think anyone in this league does. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. This whole league is behind those Tiger Sharks. Again, I told Kevin this. I mean, I know both of us we're gonna pick ourselves. There's no point in picking the winner here. I think the only thing that mattered was Coach Seeks picking the Tiger Sharks. Let's be real. But let's look into this matchup just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I want to say a couple of key factors. If you are calling this game, it's interesting because they played on Thursday night, last night, and they both left points on the bench. Both teams left points on the bench. Jerome Ford, 25, Elijah Moore, 17. But you know what? They were playing it safe. We were both playing it safe. Let's start with my side. And I think the biggest factor here is Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, people. The last time he blew up for a performance was week 3 for me. And guess who we played that week? We played those Tiger Sharks. Devontae Adams put up 40 points. Since then, he hasn't even gotten close to that. It's been a very underwhelming season for my wide receiver 1. If he performs, that would be major for the Boogsy Man. And on the other side of things, there's definitely a couple of key names to keep an eye out for. But, you know, you got the Josh Allens, you got the Jahmyr Gibbs, the Brandon Ayuk's, the Rashee Rices. Those guys are going to do their thing. And I'm going to talk about another wide receiver 1. It is the battles of the wide receiver 1s in this matchup. Devontae Adams versus Stephon Diggs. Which player will step up for their Super Bowl team? That is huge here. Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, both underwhelming seasons. Both are wide receiver 1s. Maybe they're both holding out for the biggest game of the season. Who knows? But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Week 3 was the last time Kevin and I played, and it was a shootout. It was an absolute shootout, and I hope that this weekend will be a shootout as well. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to episode 16, the Super Bowl preview episode. And as for those Tiger Sharks, will they get their first Super Bowl win in the league? Or the Boogsy Man? Will we get our 4th Super Bowl in the league? We will see this weekend. But until then, I wish you all the best of luck in your final games of the fantasy football season. Except for you, Tiger Sharks. This is your commissioner, signing off.